25. Carl and Ellie's postcard. If you blink during Toy Story 3, you might miss the postcard from Carl and Ellie sitting quietly on Andy's bulletin board. Yes, Carl and Ellie from Up. The postcard does not say much, but it does not have to. It is like they were part of Andy's world all along, or maybe Pixar just loves to see us cry. Either way, it is one of those warm little winks that add unexpected depth to a teenager's bedroom wall. 24. The Luxo Ball. Technically not a person or a creature, but come on, the Luxo Ball has more personality than some speaking characters. From bouncing around Toy Story to sitting in the background of Monsters, Inc., the ball is not just a nostalgic nod to Pixar's early days with Luxo Jr., it is a secret handshake to anyone who is paying attention. 23. Buzz Lightyear's poster. Andy's room in Toy Story 3 is practically a Pixar museum if you know what to look for. One of the best hidden details is a poster of Buzz in full space Ranger glory plastered on the wall. It is subtle, especially since you are busy focusing on the moving boxes and the emotional gut punch of leaving childhood behind. Maybe it's Andy's way of reminding himself how much these toys really meant. 22. Ants in Monsters, Inc. Way before Pixar was tying movies together with multiverse-level complexity, they were already throwing in weird fun cameos just because they could. Case in point, a bunch of tiny ants from A Bug's Life wandering through Monsters, Inc. It happens fast and most people miss it, but it is there. Are they lost? Probably. Do they care? Not one bit. 21. Lightning McQueen and Mater. You read that right. Lightning McQueen and Mater, those flashy faces from Cars, show up as tiny toys in the dentist's office toy chest in Finding Nemo. The timeline does not even make sense, but that is the charm of it. Pixar does not need things to be logical when it is this fun, and honestly, we are okay with that. 20. Roz's cameo. Roz is not exactly someone you expect to find hidden. She has got that raspy voice, that unforgettable glare, and a whole lot of suspicious energy. But despite all that, she still manages to sneak into scenes like a pro. She shows up in Monsters, Inc. and then again in Monsters University, always half blending into the bureaucratic chaos around her. 19. Frances the Ladybug. The tiniest bug with the biggest sass makes a very brief return in Toy Story 2. Frances from A Bug's Life appears as a toy in the background, like she is still out here booking gigs and refusing to fade into obscurity. He may not have any lines this time around, but it is comforting to know she is still crawling through the Pixar pipeline. And let us be honest, if anyone deserves a random cameo, it's her. 18. Burrow Bunny Pixar shorts rarely get the love they deserve, but Burrow was adorable and heart-squeezing in all the right ways. In Turning Red, that little burrowing bunny hops back into our hearts in the form of a sticker on a sketchbook. It is easy to miss, but it is also the kind of small wholesome connection that makes you want to pause and appreciate how much Pixar loves their characters, even the silent underground ones. 17. Ratzenberger. This one is more about a voice than a visual, but it still counts. John Ratzenberger has been in almost every Pixar movie since Toy Story, popping up as Ham the Piggy Bank, the Yeti in Monsters, Inc., and 100 other random background characters. Listening for his voice has become a game of its own, and it would not feel like a Pixar film without him somewhere. 16. Nemo and Boo's room in Monsters, Inc. Boo has a little stuffed clownfish toy in her room. A full 2 years before Finding Nemo came out. That means Pixar was teasing their upcoming movie in the background, while audiences were still recovering from Sully's emotional breakdown. It is the kind of tiny detail you would never think to notice unless you are the kind of person who watches these movies like they are crime scenes. 15. Boo returns. If you thought Boo disappeared after Monsters, Inc., think again. Her likeness and costume keep popping up in the most random places. In Inside Out, she shows up briefly as a classroom memory. In Turning Red, someone wears her monster costume. Is Boo a time traveler, a multiverse glitch, or just a popular preschooler? Whatever the answer, Pixar clearly is not done with her, and we are completely fine with that. 14. Russell. Russell from Up, maybe best known for harassing a grumpy old man into an airship adventure, but he also manages to sneak into other movies without saying a word. His iconic Wilderness Explorer sash or silhouette shows up in things like Finding Dory and Toy Story 3 as posters or extras in the background. 13. Doug and Ratatouille. This one is so blink and you miss it that it might as well be a magic trick. In Ratatouille, during a kitchen scene, you can spot the silhouette of Doug the dog from up, barking in the shadows. It is subtle, a little spooky, and 100% awesome. It is also more proof that Pixar loves leaving breadcrumbs for future characters long before we are supposed to know them. 12. Grape soda pin. Carl's grape soda pin from Up is iconic, an entire relationship distilled into a bottle cap. So when that same badge shows up in Toy Story 4, it feels like Pixar just reached through the screen and gave your heart a tiny little hug. It is such a specific callback that it does not even try to be subtle, and we would not want it to be. Give us all the emotionally loaded bottle caps you have got. 11. Lotso's in Up. Before he was running a daycare like a soft pink dictator in Toy Story 3, Lotso made his debut in Up as a forgotten toy under a bed. Just chilling. He is not even doing anything menacing yet, but knowing what is coming later makes his cameo in Up feel like a tiny little prequel, like watching a villain lie dormant waiting to drop the cuddly act. 10. Buzz in Finding Nemo. That dentist's office in Finding Nemo might be the most overcrowded Pixar crossover zone in history. Alongside the Mr. Incredible comic and the Cars toys, we also get a Buzz Lightyear action figure, just sitting there, ready to blast off. It is easy to miss, but once you spot him, you will wonder how many other toys from Andy's room are scattered across the Pixar universe. 9. Mr. Incredible comic. Right next to Buzz, in that same waiting room, is a kid reading a Mr. Incredible comic. The whole thing turns that dull dental office into a Pixar fan convention. It also ties the superhero world of The Incredibles into the aquatic adventures of Nemo. Maybe the kid was a fan, maybe the fish were. We do not ask questions when it is this good. 8. The Pizza Planet truck. The Pizza Planet truck is like that one guy who crashes every party but somehow always belongs there. It has been in at least 20 Pixar films, showing up in traffic scenes, junkyard carnivals, you name it. It does not matter what time or planet we are on, the truck will be there, probably delivering pizza in some other dimension. 7. A113 code. This is not a character technically, but A113 is so deeply baked into Pixar DNA that it might as well be one. It is the classroom number from CalArts, where so many Pixar legends studied, and it shows up in nearly every film. Room numbers, license plates, and security codes are always A113. It is like Pixar's way of leaving a signature on every frame. 6. Boo Pinata. During one of the most vibrant scenes in Coco, Boo shows up kind of. There is a piñata shaped exactly like her from Monsters Inc. dangling in the background. It is so quick you might not believe it is her until you pause and zoom, but it is her. From scaring monsters to being a party decoration, what a career arc. 5. Donald Duck plush. In Luca, there is a Donald Duck plush hanging out in Julia's room like it belongs in a small Italian fishing town, and somehow it does. It is a charming little nod to Pixar's Disney roots, and you almost do not notice it because the room feels so lived in. But once you spot that plush, it changes everything. 4. Sock sticker. Before Socks was cracking jokes with Buzz Lightyear, he was already chilling as a sticker on Miriam's skateboard in Turning Red. It is one of those retroactive Easter eggs where you do not even realize it is a reference until years later, but once you know, it is impossible not to smile at that tiny robot cat already making his move. 3. Glorden from Elio. Glorden might be new, but he already feels like a Pixar veteran. With his squishy alien design and big expressive eyes, he looks suspiciously like Boo dressed in a monster costume. Is it intentional? Truth is, we may never know. Glorden's entire existence feels like a visual Easter egg, a callback wrapped in curiosity, and a signal that Pixar still loves to blur its character designs in the most delightful ways. 2. Riley cameos. Riley from Inside Out does not just disappear after her emotions settle. She pops up as a background kid on a school trip in Finding Dory, and then again in Turning Red, spotted briefly in the chaos. She has got the same signature hair, and even a shirt with the number 86, a sneaky nod to her design origins. Pixar never lets go of its core characters even if they are just passing by. 1. Hank the Septopus. This guy takes the crown. Hank the grumpy camouflage-loving septopus from Finding Dory has been hidden in every Pixar film since Toy Story. It is absurd. It is beautiful. It is the ultimate game of hide and seek. He might be a shadow on a wall, a shape in a crowd, or a blob behind glass, but he is there, always. That's it for today's video. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe and like, and we'll see you in our next one.